Hey everybody, and welcome to another A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away episode. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui, and I'm from ReverseThieves.com as well as the Speak Easy podcast. And this time I'm going to be talking about UQ Holder Chapter 14 Magic Apps. And man, after I record a bunch of these at once when I can. So Tuesday, especially since Kodansha puts out their, big slew of manga on their, Crunchyroll app, I got a whole bunch today. So I read a whole slew of manga and I'm writing it up. And most of the manga today have been like, boom, huge revelation, whoa, did not expect that. UQ Holder, on the other hand, pretty much like, yeah, that's kind of what I expected. And that doesn't make it bad. I mean, this was a good, fun, little serviceable episode of UQ Holder. And I feel more than anything, this is supposed to do kind of two things. Well, three things. I mean, two story-wise. One, it's supposed to kind of, once again, give us a little more of an idea of how the world has changed since Negima. I mean, it shows us a little more about what kind of the technology level is in this, future. That they have cyborgs. I mean, not that we were totally unaware, but this was supposed to be another idea of, like, this is how people can fight. And a little more about, like, these magic apps and how they're different than, say, the wizards we saw in Negima, but how they can still do a lot of things. And so, it's that. Two, this chapter is, once again, really all about Karen. I mean, Toda and Kuromaru were basically there to be the exposition. And then she does this characters. Mostly be like, wow, that was cool. What was that? Or, oh, let me explain that. So, I mean, man, I actually kind of like Kuromaru, so I kind of feel bad that It has kind of gotten sidelined. But once again, Karen is definitely a main character type character, so we can't have, she has to have a few chapters to shine, so, you have an attachment to her, and they're definitely helping with, having her take out this flunky, the wrecking crew, who we find out is two guys. So, yeah, when it gets split in half, we find out that this mercenary is actually a cyborg that is made up of two individual robots, or at least, two cyborgs, a top half and a bottom half. And this, the top half is all bragging about, yeah, you got some nice magic apps there, but if you have enough money, you can have top of the line stuff. And he, whips out barrier breakers and basically has the ghetto version of the Gate of Babylon, where he summons all these swords and skews up Karen. And he's like, I heard you guys are immortal, but all those swords would kill anybody. And man, I guess it's just been a while since I've read a Ken Nakamatsu series, because I had forgotten, and the few chapters, I mean, there's a little surface that it still is Ken Nakamatsu, but I had forgotten the full-on, real-deal Ken Nakamatsu fan service when basically Karen just gets all her clothes ripped off and she's fighting buck naked for the rest of the episode. And I was like, there's the guy that I remember. There's the shameless service. But now, with a lot more fighting. And so, yeah, it's a pretty good fight. Um, I mean, this guy isn't like a super badass, so Karen is basically there to go, your swords, I ignore them, you, and then hand this guy both, upper half and lower half, hand both of them their bum. And so, they win, everybody's happy. We get to see Karen knife up some fools and then kick some fools. And interesting note. And everybody's like, "Yay! You saved the orphanage in the area. You're a hero. Thank you, guys." And you, Q holder. And Karen gets the typical, "I'm actually a kind of nice person down deep, but I'm kind of still, a bit cold." Once again, as I said, nothing super surprising in this chapter. But it was interesting that her form of immortality is she's just not allowed to die or be in a position where she dies. So I guess it's some kind of curse or something, which will be interesting to see, if I'm right, how she got cursed this way, or if she has like some kind of protection or mark, like some kind of like mark of Cain, perhaps, where, you know, for her crimes, she is not allowed to die. She has to kind of live on and suffer. I'm not sure. It will be interesting to see, but that's just my theory. And of course, you know, we get the stereotypical, the wrecking crew, he was defeated, but he's the weakest part of this organization. And so we basically get Jacked from Final Fantasy X and his werewolf companion. And apparently they're going to be the next guys to go after them. And they're professional immortal hunters, so, they've had experience killing immortals. And so, once again, nothing too surprising. We learn, as I said, there was a third thing. We learn that Karen has a Bonnie Boom Boom Bum. Not that we were really surprised, but that's really the third and other, not storyline related, but important thing about this chapter that it was clearly about. It was like, look at that. You like that, right? So, it was fun. Once again, it's supposed to introduce us to, what Karen can do, how her immortality works, or at least an idea on the road to finding out how her immortality works, and you know letting her basically take on a jobber to show what she can do. But yeah, hopefully when this werewolf and you know this Blitzball player come, I really hope he has like jack shot. Um, Hopefully all three of them will have to join in to win the fight. Because, once again, theoretically, Toda's the main character, and I do like Koromaru, so I hope we see more of that character as well. Alright, see you guys next week.